So I got this text message. Dalen, sup? I have some video for my whale shark excursion in Mexico and was wondering how much you would charge me to splice it together, add some music, and make a little 2-minute highlight video. Sounds like fun. So in this video, I'm gonna take you through step by step of exactly how we're gonna put this all together. Here's the game plan. All right, there are 10 steps. Step number 1, the highest quality settings. First, we'll open Adobe Premiere Pro because it's my favorite editing software in the world. Then I'll show you the best settings, 4K at 24 frames a second, and how to bring all your footage in. Step 2, music. We're gonna add the music and cut the footage for perfect timing with that music. Step 3, smooth speed ramping. We're going to speed things up, slow footage down in a really cinematic way. We'll also reverse the speed as needed. 4, composition and framing. This is where we kind of frame and zoom in on our footage to make it look the way we want. Step 5, we'll do sound design with native recorded sounds. Step 6, we'll supplement that sound design with ambient noises and stock sound effects. Step 7, we're gonna add some awesome looking transitions. Step 8, we're gonna color grade this footage. Step 9, we're gonna export it both as a horizontal video and a high definition vertical video for social media. Step 10, we're getting paid. We're gonna send it off, see what he thinks, and tell him how much I'm gonna charge him for this video. Probably could have told him how much I was gonna charge before I went through and edited everything, so I'm not sure if that really should fit at step 10, but oh well. If you like what you're seeing so far, give this video a like and make sure to subscribe. If at any point you wanna skip ahead, there are chapter links below so you can jump to any part you wanna learn about. All right, I'm gonna share my screen and you're gonna see how we're gonna put this all together. Okay guys, we're gonna take this nice and easy, really simple. First thing you're gonna do is find Adobe Premiere Pro and open it up. Just open up a brand new project, click this new project button, give it a name. I'm gonna call it highlight video right there. That's my project name there. I'm gonna put RJ's name in it as well. And then I pick a location. So I'm gonna choose a location here. I have in my external drive here, and I have a folder already created here. I like to create a folder specifically just for where I house Adobe project files. So I just name it Adobe inside of this folder, and I click choose, and that's where I save it. Now you could import all of your footage inside right here while you're on this screen. You can come in here, see right here, there's this folder, and you can come in and you can shift through your stuff, and I can find RJ's video and RJ's footage right there, and you can create, and it's gonna create everything with this footage already ready to go. And then what it's done is it's taken all the footage, since I did it that way, it's taken all the footage and it's already put it on my timeline. And if you opened up your Premiere Pro and it doesn't look like mine, or it's all kinds of wonky, here's how we get on the same page together. Click Window, Workspaces, and Editing. And then you should see something like this. Now, if you chose to import your footage already, all of it will already be in place like that. Suppose you hadn't, I'll just delete everything there. We start in the bottom left section. Import media here to start, so that's what we're gonna do. You just double click inside of there, and it's gonna open up your Finder window, and you're gonna be able to go and find your footage. So I have all my footage already here in a folder by itself called RJ Footage. I also have a folder called music. So I'll just import those. Now I have those two folders inside of here all ready to go. I'm gonna do right click and then click new bin, and then I'm gonna name one sounds. And then I have one more that I like to have, which is called assets. So inside of here, if I click inside of his footage, RJ footage, I have all of his videos. He's got two different cameras, his GoPro and an Insta360, and I can open it up and I can browse it. When I double click on it, it opens it here. This is my preview window, and this is my actual window, like the editing window. All I want to do is take one of them and just drag it on into here, into the timeline. Now, this is where I'm going to edit the footage. It's all inside this timeline. You can click on these blue lines here, and you can kind of adjust the size of how you want things to be. So what's on the left here is the same thing on the right. And I'll edit what's on the right. This is where I preview the files, is here on the left, and this is where I'll edit them, is here on the right. Right as I start and I have the footage, it created for me a different video file right here. This is my sequence. So I'm actually going to right click on it and give it a name. I'm going to call it RJ Video 4K. I'm putting 4K because I want my resolution size to be 4K in the sequence. I want it to be like the highest definition we can. I know this Insta360 is shot in 4K, and I know that because I can click on it here. I can right click on it. I can come down to properties and I can see the video image size here is 3840 by 2160, which is what people call 4K. The frame rate being 29.97. Now the standard for cinematic, like Hollywood shows and movies, is 24 frames a second. That's 24 pictures per second. The higher the frame rate, the smoother it will be, but the less realistic it kind of looks. You make it 24 frames a second. It allows it to kind of give that little bit of blur to the image when things are moving quickly. And what's nice, since some of this is shot at 59.94 frames a second, as we can see here, we'll actually be able to slow that down to more than half its speed at 24 frames a second. And so we can do some slow motion speed ramping later on. So I'm actually going to come over here to where it says sequence, and I need to click off of my footage, click sequence settings. And then I'm going to change my frame rate here to be 24 frames a second. And so that will allow me to kind of give me a little bit of leeway to slow down the footage to be a little bit slower. And I'm going to click OK. And then I actually just kind of want to delete this. The first thing I do before I do anything else is I like to start with the music. So we're going to come over here. I'm going to click on music, and I got his music here, and you just drag the music onto the audio track. Now, I typically like to put the music about on audio track 3 here. To see it a little better, I'm going to click this line, drag it down, and let me see the music just a little bit better. I always start with music because if you start with the music and then you do the video will always match the music well, rather than trying to mess with the music a whole bunch to make it fit your video, which I'm sure we're going to end up doing anyway. We're going to end up kind of mishing this music anyway, because I don't have enough footage here, I don't believe, to fill this whole song. So we're going to end up cutting some of the music, fading in, fading out a little bit as we go. But it's easier to start with the music first, always. And that's where the first note is played, was right there. And so I just want to like add a cut and have the music start right then and there. So there's this razor tool here, and you could cut it, and then you can click this tool to select it, and then right click and ripple delete. Now, there's a faster way than doing all those clicks. What I do is I literally can just come right to it and click one button, and boom, it's already started, deleted all that in one click. And if you want to know how to edit faster like that, check out the link here on the video. I show you my keyboard shortcuts to edit faster. But if you don't want to edit fast and you want to edit like a slowpoke, then here's your tools. That's how you cut it. And then you right click and click ripple delete, or you can click delete on your keyboard and drag things over. What I like to do is kind of listen to this song for a minute, and then figure out what kind of footage would go there. And I got to think like of all this stuff that we have in the RJ footage, how I want to start it. I think I want to start it actually with like an image of the ocean like this. So what you do is you can click this blue button, you can drag it to kind of see where you're going. And then to determine like when do you want it to start? Well, I want my video to start like right here. I click I on my keyboard to create an endpoint. And I go to where I want it to end, which is about right there. I click O, and now I have my footage. I drag that on, and here it is. You can click the play button here to see how this footage fits with the music. So I'll leave a link in the description if you want to see the finished video that we made. Okay, the video is like a little bit too slow for me. A fast way to kind of just speed it up, which is what I want to do, is I just click R on my keyboard, and that gives me this little rate tool. And then I click the end of it, and I drag it to end where I want it to end, which is roughly right there. And now the video plays much faster, which is what I want. And then I kind of just look at my music to determine where I want the first cut to be. You can see in this waveform, like this little line right there, like there's this little bit of a lump right there. That's where I want it to cut. It's right there. When they change notes a little bit, that's the cut point. Okay, and then I'm gonna go through, and I just want to start one video at a time of his and look for what's good in it, and then just bring in all the good pieces. So I'll just start with like the first video. I'm gonna browse through his stuff here. We got his wife kind of laughing right there. That's a good place to start. So I'm gonna click an endpoint, and her laughing is just great. So when I bring it in, if I just click this drag video only button, that will just bring in the video, but always just bring in the audio. It's kind of helps with the ambience, and you can bring the audio down. So I'm going to click this line, drag it down, and then drag this line down here to bring the audio just a little bit quieter. Then so that way it's not overbearing, because it's like wind and noise in there, and I just kind of want to subtly hear the music there. Subtly hear the sound effects that are happening there. Okay, it's a great video. Like, she's laughing. It just feels too soon probably to see someone laughing, so I'm just gonna move it out and look for more footage. There's this little peck right here. Let's see how that looks. It seems a little awkward. So literally all I'm gonna do is just find footage that I like, and I'm just gonna put them on there, but I don't know if I want these yet, so I'm kind of sticking them over here on the right hand side until I determine that they're the ones I want. Okay, right here in the music we have like a little beat. You can see that little bump right there, and I like to cut one frame as it hits, one frame after. So there, it's right where it's about to hit. Like if I zoom all the way in, you can see it's about to hit right there. And I go forward one frame. That's where the cut is. That's where you put the next clip.
Well, let's adjust the speed. One way to do it is just like this.
You can right click and come down here, speed duration, drop it to 50%. Now it smooths out that footage.
But there's a better way, and that's to speed ramp it, like this.
Bring this line up so the footage is bigger. Then we right click on it, scroll all the way down to the bottom, show clip keyframes, time remapping, speed, go to where the kiss is, which is right there. And we're gonna add a keyframe right there. We're gonna slow it down after, okay? Oh, that's where the kiss ends, so we're gonna end it there. Slow it down by dragging it, and that's gonna ramp it down a little bit. Okay, and then we're gonna cut it. Right here, I have a clip, and he goes into the water, and then it ends up seeing a shark. What I've done is I've dragged this one to the top. You just drag it up, and then I drag the audio down so I can keep that audio. And then I overlap them. That way, we can keep the audio of the splash and move to the shark. The other thing I'm thinking is we need to speed up his footage here. So going to right click, show clip keyframes, timing mapping, and speed. Right here's where I want to really speed up, and I drag it up. And then you want to speed ramp it, so drag this over, give yourself a nice little ramp. It's pretty good. Speed it up a little bit more. Boom. If you click on the sides of that speed ramp there, you'll get this little blue handle here. And you want to drag the bottom of it and twist it to the left. And that gives you a smoothed out speed ramp. It really adds like a little curve to it. So it seems like it's pretty cool. So like right here, we go speed ramp into the water, then we can end up right here. That's where it smooths out. So I'm gonna right click, mapping and speed, add a keyframe. I'm gonna slow this down to a 50%. Everything prior to it, I'm thinking of increasing its speed. I'll speed ramp it down. Give it a little bit of a curve, and there we go. I'd also like to blend these a little bit better, and so we're gonna keep the bottom one, we're gonna stretch him out a ways, and we're going to kind of blend this in. There's the fast way to do it, which is simply to hit Command D on your keyboard, and it adds a cross dissolve like that. It's lasting a little bit too long. You just click on it and you drag the edges down. And that worked marvelously in this case. Another way to do it would be to click it, go to Effect Controls, and animate the opacity. The way I would do that, let's go to where I want a clean shot, which is about right there. Click the opacity stop sign, which is at 100%. Go to the beginning, start it at 0, and now we can watch it. You can hear the water kind of splashing right there, and you can drag it down and keyframe the sound of it to drop out. Add keyframe further down and lower the sound. Sometimes you may want to reverse the direction a video is playing. So what you do is right click, speed and duration, and reverse speed, and then it will play the video in reverse order. And if you want to maintain the audio to not be playing in reverse, you can also click this maintain audio pitch while you do it. So you got this part here where we have the boat and we can see these guys. I don't really want to see them, so I'm going to click on the clip, go to Effect Controls, and increase our scale right here to give us a better view without them. So there, all we're doing is just finding the footage we like and placing it on here. See how we got these watermarks here? We don't want those. So let's click Effect Controls and zoom it on in. And then you can just adjust the position left to right. Before they start the second verse, right here, I want the music to end, so I'm going to add a cut. And then I'm going to go all the way to the end of the song and listen for the ending. Okay, cut. Like that, and I'm gonna zoom out and then bring this guy over, and we're gonna have it end by matching these two together. Let's drag this one down so we can have them on separate timelines. Okay, I'm dragging that music down, and then we're gonna try to match up the beats so it can end the song right on the beat it needs to. And if you look, these waveforms are similar to those, and so all we gotta do is match them up. And you just click on this to kind of zoom in, and literally they're like the exact same. So I just match up the ending waveforms with the waveforms right here in the song, and then what I'm going to do is fade out the top one with the bottom one. That's the end of the song, and thereby has to be the end of the video. Once you have all your footage on the timeline, and you've speed ramped them, you slowed them down, you've included their audio clips, and it's all timed to the music, you should have a timeline that looks something like this. Okay, chopped up together, have pieces on top of each other to help with timing. Now the next thing I want to do is sound. I'll start with the sound that's in the original videos before we go get sound effects. So what I'm going to do is zoom all the way in here, and it looks like I didn't bring in the sound for this clip. I just brought in just the video, but we can find the sound pretty easily. If you click on it and then you click sequence and you click match frame, or the shortcut for that would just be F on the keyboard. Here it is highlighted here, and you could just bring in just the sound. I have mine speed ramped, so I'll need to click R to speed it up. Now for this sound, I want to pay attention to where this green bar is at. I think I want it sitting at like a -12 would probably be a good place for it to sit. This is a little trick where if she like starts laughing, it's good to give people like a heads up that they're about to see somebody laughing. So dragging this clip up, dragging this clip underneath it kind of gives us, you can hear her start laughing before she does, which kind of helps transition those two scenes. And then anytime I want the audio to cut out, I'm just going to add like a keyframe, and then where I want it to die out, I'll just let it die out by bringing it down and dragging that keyframe down. So all I'm going to do is go video by video and look for kind of the original audio there. What can we use? What can we adjust? What can we keyframe? And do this until I'm satisfied with all the original audio. Then we're going to supplement that audio. I'm ready to supplement this. So my favorite place to supplement music is a place called Envato Elements. I can link it below, but it's, you could just Google Envato Elements and come to this site, and then click sound effects here. And then I just look for all the types of sounds that I will need. So I want like a boat on ocean. I like the sound of the small motorboat. I just click the download button here, and you can create like a folder or project that you want to associate with. So Dylan Pod works for me. I just click add and download, and I save all my sound effects in the same spot. So that way I can just reuse any, and then you click save, and there it is. And then I'll move them all into Adobe Premiere, but let's just go through and find a bunch of sounds of water, splashes, wells, and things like that. And I'm just going to download them all from the site. If you find something similar to what you want, just click this show similar, and it will show you all the similar sounds to it. Envato Elements does cost money, but there is a 7-day free trial, so you could come in here for 7 days, download as much as you wanted to make your video. Now that I got all my sounds, I just click on my sound folder here, and let's just bring them all in. I'm just going to drag them all in, and there we go. So some of them came inside folders, some of them didn't. And I got two types of sounds here. Like I have this one that's like underwater, and it's just underwater ambient noise. And then I have other sounds like this one, which is underwater movement. So two types of sounds. I'm going to layer them on here. And if you need more layers, you can just drag the sound lower like this, lower than all your audio tracks, and that will create a new layer right there. You can also right click and click add track, and that will create a new layer. So I'm just going to layer on all the sounds, the ambient sounds, as well as the sounds of what we're seeing, like this special effect sounds. If at any point you're editing and you see these red bars come up, it means that your audio is peaking, and so you need to lower it or find where it is. You can also click on this audio clip mixer here. If you don't see it, you can go to Window and select it, audio clip mixer, and then it will show you which number it is, and find where it's being too loud, and you can also see where the audio levels are at, like the volumes. Okay, now it's time to add in some good transitions between stuff. Now, you could do this yourself, like if you were to build these transitions from scratch, this is the process you would take. You would go over here to your assets right here, that bin I made, and then you click new item, and you want an adjustment layer. Say okay, bring it on. Now, when I'm dealing with transitions, place it like in between these two, right? And then you come over here, you click this little button here, and you look for effects, and you're going to look for the transform effect. Okay, and then you come over here to effect controls, and you're going to like keyframe the position and the scale. You're going to deselect, use composition shadow angle. This is going to let you have some more blur. You're going to set it to something like 180, and then you're going to go forward to where you have right to the other clip, and you're going to like zoom in and over. Okay, and then you can see now it like zooms in, moves over, it gets to the other clip, and then when it gets there, kind of like the exact opposite, we're gonna bring it over, zoom it in all the way right there, and then go 1, 2, 3 to like the end, and reset that to be back at the normal and back at the normal. See, now it's like this. So we kind of added a little transition thing. Anyway, and then you keep kind of modifying it. You zoom in, you twist, you rotate. I think it's all just a little tedious. So the best thing to do is to use a preset of pre-made transitions that already exist. For me, this video is not sponsored, and I'm not an affiliate of Envato Elements, but if you're already using Envato Elements for your sounds, use them for all your other stuff too. So there's actually some really good pre-made transition presets. So all you do is come over here to video templates, and then you take a look for like transitions. Okay, and then you want the one that says Premiere Pro, because that's what we're using, and this one's called the most useful transition pack. So you just click the download button right there, and you're ready to go. Once it's downloaded somewhere, you can come over here to like, I'm going to go to my assets here to open it up, and you double click and go find where you saved it. And here it is, and there's all sorts of them right here. I want like the one that says all, because why not have all of them? Then I click import, and I just say import the entire project. I'll say okay, and then I'm just going in here to the transitions, and I'm thinking something that's like a roll would be good. So I just find like a roll right, and it shows me a preview. That looks really good. So I don't need the footage underneath it, so we could just delete that. I just need the roll right, and we come over here. And it's a good idea to protect all of your assets. So like lock everything in here, so when you paste this in here, it doesn't mess with any of the existing footage or sound effect work that you've already done. Come in right here and paste it. I literally just copied and pasted it, and it comes in with audio, so I'm just going to select all of it. And right there where that little line seam is, I want to put that right in the middle of the two. Okay, something I'm noticing is it's not quite working. I think the resolution settings are wrong. And so like if we look at our sequence settings, we're 3840 by 2160, but the resolution settings for the transitions is not that. See if we can click on it and click sequence settings. It's only 1080, so we need to change it 3840 by 2160. Change it to that, and then we need to change it to a 24 frames a second and click OK. Now it's time to color grade. So let's go over here,
Let's go to assets. We got this adjustment layer. Let's place them way up here, up on top. I like to change my view for coloring. There is a color one, but I like effects. Both of the layouts are pretty similar. And then over here on this side, I'm gonna open Lumetri scopes, kind of see what we're dealing with. And this, I can see that it's peaking right here. So we're gonna lower the exposure a little bit, see how that comes down. I don't want it peaking. I want to increase like the contrast, decrease the highlights, decrease the shadows a little bit, and increase the saturation. And in the creative, let's increase the vibrance a little bit. And I'm going to add another Lumetri effect on it. Let's give this a look. Let's see. Going to add a teal and orange creative look to it. That. I'll have a link below on where you can get this same teal and orange look. Export this guy. So just click File, File Save, and we're going to come down here to File, Export, Media, and give this a location, RJ Video, and I'm going to name a new folder named Finals, RJ Video, 4K, V1. I'm going to click Save. I'm going to change my preset here to Match Source Adaptive. High bitrate. And click export. I sent the video to RJ, and you know what he said? Oh shoot, I forgot to send you this. He then sent me more stuff to add to the video. I should have expected that usually there are revisions, and I thought I was gonna make like a little 1 minute, 2 minute video. But with all the photos and additional footage he sent me, I just said, you know what? Let's make this the whole song length, which was about 5 minutes. So I went a little crazy, put in all these cool photos in the water with the new footage. And then I took it even further by also making a vertical 1 minute video that he could post on TikTok, Instagram, or as a YouTube short. To do this, I clicked the new item button here, then sequence settings, and I changed the frame size 1080 and 1920 so we have an aspect ratio of 9:16. I left my other settings at 24 frames a second and my color space as a Rec 709. Then I clicked OK. I brought in a brand new song on this sequence and edited it to be less than a minute. Then on the original 4K sequence, I muted the music track and re-exported everything so that way I could have all the original sounds without the music. Then I timed up that footage to our new music vertical video. And once I was done, I exported it and I texted the two videos to RJ. Here's what he said. Very pleased. Thank you. Now big question. How much? And I said, it's free. I was just happy to do this one for you, RJ. You see, I'm not actually interested in making money from doing video work with clients, but I am interested in making the best tutorials on the planet for people like you. So I hope you found this helpful.
Hey, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of this video. Leave me a comment below if you have any questions or what future videos you want to see. If you want to see how to do some cool superhero effects, check out this video over here, or you can learn how to fly on this video right there. So I'll see you guys next time. Stay super.